Welcome back. Algebra 1. Let's do 9.6, dividing polynomials. We're going to start off slow and start dividing by a monomial, which is one term. Okay, so when we're dividing by monomials, let's take a look at our textbook right here. To divide a polynomial by a monomial, divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. That's what you're, whoa, what did I do here? Oh, here we go. Divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. Let's look at our first example. So divide 12x squared plus 20x by 4x. So here we have two terms in this polynomial, and you're going to divide each term by 4x. We have 12x squared on the top, 4x on the bottom, plus 20x and 4x. So I can already see here that we have x on top, x on the bottom. I can cancel, right? And I'm left with one x on top. Unfortunately, I can't draw on this, or can I? Ooh. Oh, I can highlight. I can't really draw. That's still kind of cool. Okay. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that leaves me with 3x. Here the x is completely canceled out. And then I have 20 divided by 4, which is 5. So you can check the answer by multiplying it back and seeing if you get what you started with. Let's look at example number 2. Here's my polynomial on top. I have 3 terms in my polynomial, and then I'm just going to divide it by the monomial. Okay, so I'm separating each term. You see that? So I have 8x cubed divided by -4. Okay, I can do that because x, when I have 3 x's, okay, and I remove one x, that leaves me with 2 x's. That's my x squared. X divided by -4 is -2. Okay, let's look at our next term. We have x squared divided by x. That leaves me with 1x. And then 16 divided by -4, which is -4. And then our last term is -4x. -4x divided by -4x is 1. Easy peasy. Okay, then we have our steps for dividing polynomials. Okay, arrange the terms in order of descending degrees. Okay, so if you have, let's see if they have an example here. Of course, I don't see an example. Okay, descending degrees, meaning this x squared plus 6x minus 9, the highest degree goes first, which is x squared. And then the next one would go next. This is x, which is really x to the first power. And this does not have a variable, so that degree is 0. Okay, then our next step is has 3 steps in itself. Divide, multiply, subtract. So let's take a look at this again. Divide the first term by the dividend of the first term of the divisor and write the result in the quotient. Okay, and this is what happens when you're dividing a polynomial not by a monomial, but by not by a monomial, but by a binomial. Ooh, all these terms. Okay, then multiply the result by the entire divisor and place the product under the dividend. Subtract this product from the dividend. It's just like doing our long division. And let's look at example number 3 before we go into that a little further. So here's my big polynomial divided by my binomial here. So the first thing you're going to do is look at the first term for each. Here's my first term for my big polynomial, which is x squared, and my first term for my binomial. And I'm just going to start with that. So x squared divided by x is x. And you know that step normally when we multiply this by this guy so we can go and subtract it? We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to multiply it by x and 2. So x squared, same process, right? Minus x squared. And when we multiply, it's 2x. But don't forget to subtract it. Okay, this negative sign needs to be distributed. So this is, even though it's a positive 2x, we are subtracting a positive 2x from 6x. So that gives us 4x. And then we're going to bring down our next term, minus 9. If we're going to go through that process again, we're looking at our first term, and that is going in our first term over here. So 4x divided by x. So that's just going to be plus 4, and we're going to again multiply this 4 to both of these terms. So 4x minus 4x plus 4 times 2, which is 8. And when we subtract that, we're left with negative 17. Again, we have to remember that this negative is being distributed. It's going right here. So it's negative 9 minus 8. And this is our remainder. And how we write our remainders, it's going to be over the divisor. Okay, so it's going to be minus 17 over the divisor. And that's x plus 2. Just kidding. And if you want to check your solution, you just multiply it out together and you should come up with the same thing. The rest of these are examples. Okay, so let's just go over these examples real fast just to see what we have here. Okay, when you see your problem, your polynomials being divided like this, rewrite it. Go ahead and rewrite it like this because it's going to be a lot easier to do this. When you write it like this, it's going to make you think, oh, I can divide it like I was doing the monomials, but you can't because this is a binomial. Woohoo, that did not turn out okay. Okay, and you're going to go through that process again. You're going to put this in descending order, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, that looks good. Then it's x going into 2x to the 4th power, which is 2x cubed. You're going to multiply this by your two terms here. So that's 2x to the 4th power minus 2x cubed. And this is actually adding, right? We have that minus and minus. So we have 2x cubed minus x cubed, which is just x cubed. Bring down the next term. Divide again. How many times can x go into x cubed? Well, x squared, and so on and so forth. So you're going to continue with these examples, and I do recommend copying these examples down. Even if you feel like you don't get it, just copy it down because you're going to be doing this again and again and again throughout Algebra 1. You're going to see it again in Algebra 2, and it's just practice is going to make this a lot easier for you. In this case, example 5, you see how we are missing some terms. They went ahead and put in, I guess, like spacers, if you will. Placeholders, there we go. Just so you don't get mixed up. Okay, we can only subtract x cubed from x cubed and x squareds from x squareds. You can't do an x squared from an x, okay, because they're not like terms. So the reason why they put those 0 placeholders is so you remember to stick with only combining your like terms. So that is where you get that from. All right, so the next thing that you have besides this last example is just doing your exercises. Looks like for this yeah, it's your textbook 1 through 8. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email, text message, whatever you need, I'm here to help. So hopefully you guys are all doing okay and we get to see each other soon.